Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video marks the end of the week number 68 in this road to 100k realized return challenge, and this was another week which had a lot of potential, as I mentioned in my previous video at the beginning of this week. The markets has started on a positive note. There was a lot of hope that this would be a week of recovery for the markets, but ended up being anything but. Apparently, yeah, this recovery went on. And looking here at the graph for the Qs, because again we still keep these shares, as you can see, and we still continue to try to sell these positions at least at the break even. As you could also here, you'll see that there's still this call outstanding, expiring next week with a 630 call, which is our cost basis for these QQQ shares. But as you can see here, during the week, and things went quite steady here until the end of the day on Wednesday. But then and keep in mind that on Wednesday, the news came about that the government shutdown has officially ended. So you would, or like any investor would, have high hopes for what would come next, because with the government shutdown ending, economic data, the all important economic data, would become available at some point in the near future. However, on Thursday, this proved to be a false hope, given the fact that on Thursday there were a lot of things that brought stocks down and resulted in this uh, big downswing. Not only there was some Fed speak, and the Fed members that spoke reinforced the idea that a rate cut in December is not a done deal, and they are reluctant that such a move will take place. Also, there was some apparently there was a post from Michael Burry, which is widely known as a big short investor, and apparently Michael Burry mentioned on a post, on social media post, that not only AI stocks are extremely overvalued, but he also took some large positions in betting on a short, so selling some shorting some stocks, so that he was betting on the fall or that of the share prices of these stocks. And so and of course this includes stocks like Palantir and Nvidia as well. And this had a ripple effect on the market, which was not a positive one at all. um, and even though of course the markets have recovered somewhat on Friday, but at this point it became clear that we would not be able to sell our shares of the Qs next week, this past week, and so we had to basically roll over our position into next week. And as you can see here, looking at our scorecard, and these are the positions that we closed. And we closed on Friday, so yesterday. And so this was the amount of realized gains that we managed to get this week. So it's a very low amount. It's not even $400. And as you can see here as well, these are the returns that we managed to get on these positions. So relatively low returns for the week. And now on to the trades themselves. So the calls that we had on the Qs we managed to buy them back at the price of 1 cent, and I'll show you this in a moment. Um, so here it is. These are very few trades for the week, and keep in mind that we only managed to start our first trade of the week on Wednesday. As you can see here, we bought back those puts at 50 which had a 51 strike price, because they were already at 1 cent. We rolled over the position for one of those on Thursday, and we also sold a put for ARKK because this was already at the end of the week with a 91% probability of profit. So this was a 9 delta put, and this was close to being called back to being assigned, but fortunately we managed to avoid it, even though it was a more than 90% probability of being assigned to us. Now, the big one was these calls on the queues that we bought back at 1 cent, and we rolled over the position here. And also, it's important to emphasize that we decided to use only the calls maturing on November 19, and for the simple reason that this is the day that will probably define the entire week, and because Nvidia will announce its earnings here on November 19 at 10 p.m. So 10 p.m. local time is Eastern Europe, so at the market close. And keep in mind that the shares of the queues will continue to trade 15 minutes after these tradings are announced. So we sold these calls because these calls have embedded the volatility that that is relative to the earnings announcement of these shares, and this is something that we can see right here, because these are the calls that are the options that are available for Monday. And here you'll be able to see, as we move over to the next options, the prices don't necessarily rise this much. The premiums don't rise this much, but then there is a bigger jump, and now we cannot see it because there's a lot of information not available, but this was the reason why we sold these options, these calls, to collect the volatility relative to the Nvidia pending earnings announcement. Now, another topic which is worth mentioning is the fact that the XLF, we were very, very close to selling. All right. All right, so here it is. So you see here, putting the graph for the week here, there was a point in the week on Wednesday. These calls were pretty much in the money. Keep in mind that the strike was 53.50 here, but because of the pullback, the price came down, and the calls became out of the money, and we managed to buy those back, and then we rolled over the position for the next week, as you can see right here. And because we were also these ARKK shares at some point were close to being in the money, but it ended up not being so, fortunately, because this is a stock that we definitely don't want to keep in our portfolio. So let's see, for 1 week, and yes, we bought it, we sold the put around here. It became very close to 75. It opened actually in the money on Friday, but then recovered, and it ended up not being the case. So all in all, this was a week in which we just had to roll over positions. We could, or yeah, basically we could not do much because of the maturities that we had to extend in order to keep getting some premium, especially out of these QQQ shares. And so, yeah, there was very little that we could do about it. And because of the very few trades that we did, we managed to collect very little premiums this week. Let's see what's going to happen the next week, keeping in mind that there might be some government data coming in. In the website, the Market Watch, we can see that it was expected to have the employment data on Thursday, so this may probably be available, and in that case, it is likely to make the markets move. These jobless claims also may become available as well, and yeah, there's some Fed speak, but uh, we never know what they can say, but probably they will repeat what is already been said, that it's not a done deal, that the market will cut rates, that the Fed will cut rates. We can also see here, this was also an effect of the Fed speak that occurred this week. Now currently the bets on the market are that there becomes a more likely, almost 56% chance that rate cut will not happen and will remain at the interval between 3.75% and 4%. But yeah, maybe the next Fed speak will change as the new economic data will eventually come out. Four companies reporting this next week. As far as I could see, besides Nvidia on Wednesday, so November 19, I also noticed that Walmart is expected announce their earnings on November the 20th, so it will be on Thursday, and this is pretty much it. Yeah, let's hope that yeah, some good news will come about and we'll be able to see a market rebound so that we can get rid of these shares as soon as possible. But for the time being, this is all, and yeah, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. I am also available on LinkedIn in case you need to ask me any questions, and of course feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully the next week, not on the beginning on the video to start the week number 69, but on the next week we'll be able to do the video a little bit earlier if there are no maintenance on the platform. But yeah, this is it. I'll see you on Monday evening or on Tuesday morning.